Okay, and go. Okay, so can you give the class your title at Sky Blue Media?
Yes, my title is Creative Communications Coordinator.
Okay, and what exactly does that consist of? Because it seems like it could be pretty broad.
It is very broad, yes. So the way that our team is set up is really just all hands on deck when needed, and um, really everybody in the office is a jack of all trades. So my main role here at Sky Blue Media is anything uh, visual, so any visual collateral that is used to pitch a client to any editorial magazines or any outlets like
Okay,
blogs or uh, yeah, so blogs, magazines, TV, radio, anything. We
perfect.
just yeah, and then any type of collateral also used for wholesale
Okay,
when it comes to the fashion designers that we have in the on the roster.
that's good to know because I didn't know that at first. Like, which I seen it, but I was like, oh, I don't know. It seems like it could be anything, pretty broad. So, when
Yeah,
exactly did you start working at Sky Blue Media? Did you start as an intern? Because I'm kind of curious, or did you just kind of just get on board?
no, I did. So I started as an intern when I was still in school. I was a senior in school, and this was my last. It was part of my last like senior project.
Okay.
So I started here in February, I think, of 2012 as an intern.
Oh gosh, that was like, because I was like, he's 22, like, it's not adding up. How did he become like this? Everything you wanted to be at 22, like this is
Yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah, no. So I was an intern, and then I worked for a couple. Um, I worked as an intern for a couple months, and then after 3 months, I got hired.
Ooh, the life. So, like, as an intern, what were your goals or what were your roles? What did you do? Like, did you go to school for PR? Was it fashion? Was it something non-related?
I went to school for fashion marketing.
Fashion marketing.
Yeah.
And what made you pick Sky Blue to, intern at?
Um. Well, I heard about Sky Blue Media through a friend that I worked with. I used to have a part-time job at a retail store called Brooklyn Industries, and my friend kind of like told me about it, and I looked it up, and I was kind of seeing all the cool things that they were doing, so it kind of grabbed my interest, and I came in for an interview, and
And
it
then from there was
happened.
history.
It was history.
Okay, so you kind of already answered the next question, which was yeah, education and background. What school did you go to?
I went to the Art Institute
Okay,
here in Center City, Philadelphia.
and then you said you got a degree in fashion marketing.
Yes, I did. I actually went to school for fashion design for 1 year. And, sometimes when you start school, even though I'm so passionate about it, I
Hmm.
didn't, I just think that you have to put into perspective how that is going to
Play
uh,
out.
be in the future. So you
Yeah,
kind of have to,
that's interesting because my older sister, she just graduated from the Arts Institute with a fashion design career or degree also, and she's like, maybe I should have did like marketing or merchandising because it takes so long to kind of come up as a designer in a sense. So
yeah.
that is very interesting. What do you believe is the best part about working at Sky Blue Media or being at a PR firm?
Um, well, at a PR firm like this, I think it's really great because I don't, I do sit at my desk for long periods of time, but um, which I don't like, but I make up for it when I do really fun projects like styling, or I do photo shoots, or we get to go to New York for the day, even if it's just for meetings. Like it's just something that is um, more than just sitting staring at a computer.
Yeah.
And even when I am staring at a computer, it's usually something visually appealing. So it's going through proofs of a photo shoot and picking out the best pictures as opposed to just writing endless
So I would are you more so like on the visual side of things? Like do you do a lot of like the pitching and the press releases or do you do more of the visuals with the company?
I do pitching. I do wholesale pitching
Okay.
more so than press pitching, but sometimes as I said before, um, everybody needs to kind of have a hand
Hands
in
on.
everything.
Yeah.
So sometimes I do pitching for Rakia.
Hmm.
When there's a particular project that she wants you to work on, I'll do that. But it's not something that I do like every day.
Okay. So, what would you say that some of your main responsibilities are at Sky Blue?
Main responsibilities. Well, I definitely do anything that needs to be styled. I am the one that takes care of that.
Okay.
So whether it's someone that we're styling on Fox or NBC or ABC, I'm the one that pulls
The looks.
the looks for it. Yeah.
Is that like
When
nerve wracking? Like, is that like nerve wracking? Like knowing that you have to like put this look together and it has to be like the it thing, you know, because it may be on TV or
uh,
something. Or are you just that confident? You're just like, yeah, I
um,
know it's gonna be top shit.
no, I mean usually they give you kind of like the look that they're giving that they're going for. So you just, I mean, I think I'm confident in putting something together that looks great.
Good. So confidence, one of your key. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Do you think that the roles and responsibilities are clear at Sky Blue? But you did say like it's like a kind of like a company where it's all hands on deck, so everyone kind of like gets involved in almost everything. But do you think like everyone's responsibilities are clear within the agency?
I think that they're clear to a certain point. But I think that when you're working in a team, the rules are never going to be crystal clear,
Mm-hmm.
and there is never going to be like an exact line drawn between each team member, only because that's part of uh, what what it is. That's part of what it means to be a team.
Team,
You
yeah.
can't, when someone else needs help, you have to be there for them. Yeah. So
So you think that the roles and responsibilities are kind of clear, but because it's an agency where everybody's kind of all hands on deck, it doesn't have like a clear border exactly for everyone. That's interesting.
no, and I think it's a good thing because I always get to learn new and different
Yeah,
things.
which it is interesting because it's not like
Yeah.
you're only designated to this one aspect of the company. Where you can get involved
Right.
in certain or different things. Because even with our like when she does the political side of things, I'm like, oh my god, like I didn't know about A, B, C, and D. So it's interesting that you do get to kind of see a little bit of everything that goes on within the company instead of just being
Yeah.
stationed to one specific segment.
Yeah, like I mostly work on fashion, but sometimes I do help out with like nonprofits,
Yeah.
which I love too.
So, what's one thing that you learned from Sky Blue that you think you would take to you in other occupations or furthering your career or anything like that?
Um, I mean, everything that I know, I've learned here.
Yeah.
Obviously, like um, school also helped, but um, there's nothing better than like real life experience.
Yeah.
So I think everything that I've done has definitely helped me be more confident because I think that's a huge part of it. Like sometimes you have the knowledge that you learn from school or you have the knowledge just from what you experience, but when you are given a task, you don't necessarily feel confident that you can fulfill um, the task, um, and that might sometimes it might psych you out
Yeah.
if you're not in it. So then you might not successfully complete it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because I know, like, even still, like, even being like a student and you were once a student, so you know that even when you start becoming or you get your hands or feet into the industry, it's so broad. So it's like, oh, you thought you were comfortable doing one thing, and then you're getting into something new, so you may not be as comfortable. So you shy away from it. So it's definitely, I feel like in becoming or getting into the industry as being a student first, interning and such, and that you kind of really do have to break out your shell a little bit and not just be so narrow-minded to the one thing that you think you're so good at, because I realized
Oh
even
yeah.
though because I just started doing PR, I just wanted to become in communications, and I was never in communications. So to be my first year, I wasn't comfortable, and to do my first intern is like, I was like, oh, I don't know how to do A, B, C, and D. So you shy away from it. But when it comes to events and getting things planned out, I'm so used to doing that. So I feel like I highlight in that segment, whereas though more so like the writing aspect, I don't highlight it because I was, I'm not comfortable doing it. So it's like you kind of have to teach yourself, how to get comfortable and, learn stuff new. So it was good that you pointed that out. So that was excellent. Who do you think Sky Blue Media's biggest competitor is?
Um, I think that I mean, I honestly think that it's probably like the city of New York as a whole,
Yeah.
because I mean that's where we're headed, and that's where we've started to grow a um, a business and like connections, and
Hmm.
we're kind of starting to come in. But I don't think that there is a company like ours that is as small of a team that can be so mighty.
Yeah.
I think that obviously there are huge companies uh, that their home base is in New York, that we I mean, obviously they're huge. They've been around forever, and they have huge clients. But I think that that's where we're headed, and that's what we're going to take on. So
I love it. I mean, which is interesting because it's like, we're so close to New York. It's like, even though we're in Philadelphia, it's not as big and as, luxury as, New York, the industry is. It's like, it's good to have your head in both cities, which is fun.
yeah.
So you just completed the Down Street Fall 2015 fashion show, as we were all there. What role did you play on making that show successful?
Well, I was the production lead, so that means it. It means a lot. A lot of things,
Basically, you kind
but
of did everything.
basically just the production lead. I produced the show. I designed the show, and I did the logistics of the show. So anything from uh, you know the tape that went on the floor on the runway
Yeah.
to like having a model there and choosing what she's wearing.
Yeah. One thing I thought, like, even though I couldn't interview during class, I did do like a little short skit on you and like things I already knew about you, just to kind of like, say something. But it was one thing that I definitely realized the other day when Downstreet had came up to the office. And even though she's a designer, it was very interesting how both of you interacted with one another because she would ask your advice on, oh, should this model be in this garment or should this model be in that garment with shoes. And so I thought it was interesting, even though she was a designer and she was the brand that she let you involve yourself and your creativity to her work. So I thought that was really interesting, just to kind of see that interaction between you two. And I know, like, Christina always said that you're the fashion guru at Sky Blue Media, so anything has to go to you first, and if you get it okay, then it's like fabulous. So I thought it was really fun, that you got to work so closely with her and that she values your opinion and your creativity. So that must also be like amazing too.
Yeah, I mean it's something that was I've been working with her for a while. Hasn't been a year yet, but I've been working with her for a while, and I think that from what we've done before,
Mm.
she's been able to trust in my opinion, in my you know
Yeah, like your way of thinking.
yeah.
Because I know that could be difficult for a designer, because they already have this vision of what they want. So it's kind of like, to have someone else's opinion is kind of, I can see how it could be challenging in some ways. So, being in the public relations agency, your job must consist of a great deal of interaction between clients and journalists and others and such like that. How do you work on your communication skills?
Um, how do I work? Well, I think that I work on them without thinking because it just comes naturally. You have to do it with everybody. One thing that I know is very important is to always be completely transparent in everything and make sure that there's always something in writing, because you know nowadays everything is done through email, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you don't even get to meet a person. Like sometimes when I'm doing styling, I ship out thousands of dollars worth of merchandise to a person that I don't know, that I haven't met in person.
Yeah.
But everything just has to be, has to have, has to be in writing in order for something to, for you to be covered, I
Yeah.
guess.
When you pitch or when you're pitching to someone, do you ever feel nervous? Like how? Like I know, like even when I write emails, it takes me maybe like 2 or 3 minutes to like sit there and actually write the email because I kind of want to make sure it sounds, like correct and professional and such like that. So when you're pitching or when you're in a meeting, you have to, share your insight. Like, do you ever get nervous, or are you just one of those gifted people that can just, say what you need to say? And
I think I mean, I always get nervous, regardless regardless of whether it's something that I've done before or something that I haven't, because it's always going, like, if each meeting is always going to be something different, and there's always going to be something new that comes out of it. What I'm nervous about is just making sure that I put my best foot forward to be able to provide that person with the best feedback, best ideas, you know, or if we're consulting on something, you know.
Yeah, just like that, which is interesting because I know like now it's like, you know, you can communicate through anything, like not just, it's not phone and email anymore. It's like even social media, you know, you can have a whole conversation via someone that you may never met, you know, off of Twitter and such. So, you know, it's definitely like wording and phrasing, you know, you have to get creative sometimes with it.
Yes, sometimes you just have to not think about too much how you're writing it. Just make sure that you're getting the point across.
Yeah.
And I think if you get your point across, you're pretty much doing it right.
So speaking of communications, where do you think the communication channel is within the Sky Blue Media? Because I know that, I mean, I don't really work closely with Rakia. I work more closely with, you know, you and Kristana. So I know that a lot of information comes to you guys, you know, first for most part, and then maybe it might, you know, climb up the ladder onto Rakia. So you think it's like an upward channel where, you know, kind of most of the information starts off with you or, you know, Alicia, Kristana, and then it ends up going to Rakia?
I think, well, it really depends, but for the most part, there isn't really like an upward or downward.
It's like horizontal.
It's more of a leveled field.
So like you would say horizontal channel.
Horizontal channel, yeah. Yeah, that's why me and Kristana and anybody who's in the team are always sitting on pitch meetings, because pitch meetings are the first meetings that we have with potential new clients. And from then, which is the very beginning of a relationship with a client, we are present and we're there from beginning to end.
So all team members. That's interesting because it's like it's kind of hard to kind of tell, you know, when you, because you know, like I know you guys specifically work with certain clients, and you know, like Alma, is it Almaz?
Almaz, yeah.
Almaz. She works with her specific clients, so it's like, you know, where does the information come from? Who does it go to? Who's the last one to get it? So you know.
Yeah, so the information comes directly from the clients.
Yeah.
So if anybody has a client, the client is working directly with the point of contact. So it could either be me, Kristana, or Almaz, or Leah.
So being so young, because you're only 22, correct?
No, so I'm actually...
You've been lying to me, Javier. You're still 22 in my eyes. So that's still young. And in this industry, what is some advice that you could give, you know, students who are looking forward to, you know, being in the industry, even if it's just, you know, being a PR or a production person or anything? Like, what's some advice you feel as though you could give a student coming up into the industry?
I mean, definitely, I think you have to keep from getting distracted, and you have to focus on your job. And you have to make it a priority if you want to succeed and move on to the next level.
And make it in the priority.
Yeah, it has to be your priority. If you want to do something with your career, it has to be one of your top priorities.
So this is not on this. This is not on the list, but it's just something that I thought was interesting, or that I just kind of wanted to ask you. What is your dream career, or what do you want to end up definitely doing? You know, in the industry, or even if it's not in the industry, what do you see yourself really? You know, what's your dream job? I guess.
Well, there's a couple, but so when I was younger, the reason why I went to school to do fashion design was because I wanted to be a fashion designer.
Okay.
But it's kind of harsh to say, but there's always a difference between the reality that is mine and the dream that is mine. Obviously, you have to chase your dreams, but then you also have to make sure that they're within reach. If you are actually going to chase them.
Yeah.
That's just me being very harsh with myself. But with that being said, I think that I would love to be in my late 20s, early 30s, and be a fashion production um, uh, manager or
Producer.
so anything with designing the actual shows, because everything that the designer works for, that PR companies work for, that um, everybody works for those like 5 minutes that those models are walking down the runway. It's all down
Yeah.
to that, those 5 minutes, and I think that it's just really cool, and I get a lot of like adrenaline from it, and
OMG, yeah.
awesome.
I think that's the
Even,
best part I love about shows. I
yeah,
think I
even
love
about
shows.
like I
Yeah.
love how everything comes together.
That's very interesting because I was thinking about going to event coordinating like this summer and doing some event stuff because I know I do a lot here like within our department, and I think I just love that more than just kind of like writing. I mean, I like writing, but I don't know if I love it enough to like sit on my laptop for 10 hours and do it. So it's like I'm still trying to figure out exactly what I want to do in the industry. That's why it's like I'm trying to pinpoint. And it's like it's fun because I never been to a PR agency where we got involved with the shows. I always had to do shows, like with other people. So it was kind of fun that my own, that the PR agency that I interned with were, kind of had hands-on control of the actual show itself. So I thought that was so interesting because I never got to experience that. Especially not just like any show, was a New York Fashion Week show. So
So yeah, normally PR companies have no hand
yeah, at all.
That's what I'm telling you. We are
Yeah, so
very
I thought
unique.
that was interesting.
Yeah.
But thank you. I don't want to keep any of your time because this was like already 20 minutes. But I appreciate it. So I'm going to email this. If I can get it like in the email, I'll email it to you too so you'll have it. And
Okay.
I'll see you guys on Friday because I won't be here Thursday.
Yep, I have it written down on the board.
Okay.
All right,
Thank you so much, Javi.
Bye.
Bye.